Did you know that you can rotate your patterns in Affinity Photo's procedural texture filter? In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to set up a rotation for any pattern that has an X and Y coordinate input. And so you can set up these rotation controls, and if you hold the Shift key down, you can have an arbitrary rotation. So to do rotation, I'm going to use a coordinate transformation that is done by doing a matrix multiply. This is a rotation matrix. I first encountered this back in the 1980s in a copy of Scientific American where they were rotating a hypercube. But in this case, I'm just going to multiply times these two coordinates. So when you do, if you're not familiar with matrix multiplication, what you do is I'll take this element times the top element plus this element times the bottom element, add those two together, and that gives me my new x coordinate. So in this case, that comes out to x times cosine of theta minus y times sine of theta. And then for this row, I multiply again, and so that comes out to x times sine of theta plus y times cosine of theta. If I apply that coordinate transformation to my x and y coordinate variables, I can apply a rotation to my pattern. So I'm going to look at that down here. So that could look something like this. I create a new variable, rtx for rotated x and rty for rotated y. I multiply my rx value times cosine of theta minus ry times sine of theta, and then I'm scaling it by my typical times AW, A divided by W factor. Do the same thing for y, but this time it's Rx times sine of theta, Ry times cosine of theta. Then I just substitute these two variables into my equation, and I should be able to rotate it. I have to set up a rotation control for theta, and that's about it. I'm going to demonstrate how to set this up now. So I'm just going to add a equation here, a real value, and I'm going to use this angle input control. Okay, I'm going to call this one TH for theta. And now I'm going to bring in my new transform coordinates for X and for Y. Okay, and now I'm going to just use the osci oscillator and put in my new RTX and RTY like that. And I'm going to scale this up to get my checker pattern, and then I'll select all three colors, although I don't need to. Now this control you can either rotate by 45 degrees, okay, or if you hold the shift key down, you can rotate it to any arbitrary angle. You can also go in here and type in a number and have it rotate to that value. Right, I set up a couple of filters using this. So I'm just going to look at a 3-color rotate. So in this case, I created 3 different angles so that I can rotate them to, I can have 3 different arbitrary angles of my 3 different colors here. And here's some patterns that I created with those. Like that, or like that. In this case, I'm just using stripes. Okay. Here's another example. This is the Voronoi pattern, and so I can rotate this around to any arbitrary pattern. And here's a couple of different images, presets I did for that one. And so on this one I have 2 different rotations. I can rotate this or the underlying second Voronoi pattern. So as long as the function has an xy coordinate that you can put into it, or even just an x coordinate, then you don't have to transform the y. You should be able to set up the rotation for it using that coordinate transform. Let me know if you have any comments or questions, and thanks for watching.